Hi, I'm Michael from Savoursoil Permaculture. With our Ask Us Anything section, we've had a question come in from Victoria, and what she's asking is, when you're reading a landscape, what is it you see first? And also, what are the key things you look at when visiting a property for the first time? That's a really interesting question, Victoria. When I go out to a landscape for the first time and I start having a look, the first thing I start noticing is the curves of the landscape and where the contours and the flow lines tend to be. My eyes are naturally drawn towards that, so I start at looking at the ridge line. So when I'm looking at the top, I go from the top of the system down to the bottom of the system. So I start at the ridge line, I go out and look to see where the ridges are, and then down to where the valleys are, and then from there see the flow lines where the water goes. Now the same idea and principle can be applied on an urban landscape, a small urban landscape, as it can with a larger one. When you're looking at the high points, rather than looking at ridge lines, what you're looking at is where is the energy coming from in the first place as far as water and other elements are concerned. It's typically high, so it could be a roof line, it could be a gutter, it could be a shed. And from there, where does the water or where does the energy flow from there down into the landscape and then how across on the landscape? Again, slightly different terminology, but you're still looking at the idea of ridge lines, down to valleys, down across through to flow lines. Now in there as well, other things I look for when I'm looking at a landscape is from where the flow lines go, where there is a step within the landscape. So Australia naturally has sort of step hydrology that happens within that. And so as you're looking across, you can see where it starts to level out. And naturally from there, you'll find that there's a curve that's going across on contour with that. And that is typically a really good place to start looking at things and start placing your developments with the material, whether it be trees or contours or swales, terracing or whatever else it may be as far as the context of the client is concerned. And from there we can start applying it to that larger landscape and context. We take that information and then we marry it with the brief and the context of the client, and from there the design starts to evolve. So we don't actually look at it as not just what is possible within the landscape, but also what is the limitations that set the design of that landscape. If you have any other questions or anything else at all, if people would like to email us at info@savoursoilpermaculture.com, and we'll create these small videos which will hopefully be happening weekly now and into the future. Thank you.